not think a novelist has a lot of call for a great respect for fact, because isn't fiction really fact's antithesis? Well, not for me. A French naturalist once said, he gathered facts in order to have ideas. And it works that way for me too, but it's also important because I think of the facts in my novels as the scaffolding. And the better the scaffolding and the more carefully I lay it in place, the more fanciful the edifice I can build on top of it and still get you, the reader, to come with me on this journey and trust me to say this is a plausible account of how this might have happened. So sometimes the best thing to do is use that scaffolding, and then when the book is finished you take it all away so that there's no sign that it was ever there. But sometimes I'll leave it in place, like a neo-brutalist architect will leave the signs, the wood grain in the concrete, because I want you to know that I have followed the line of fact as far as I could, and I have only bent and twisted it to serve the story, and I only depart from it when the historical voices fall silent, when there's a void in the historical record, and the only way to fill it is with some kind of imaginative empathy. But it has to be a well-informed imaginative empathy. So I was a correspondent in Sydney for a long time, and then I got a scholarship to come to Columbia University in New York City, and while I was there I met two very important men. One was the recruiter for the Wall Street Journal, and one was my fellow student Tony Horwitz, and we will have been married 30 years this December. So I'm very grateful to Columbia University for those two things. The journal hired me, and in the weird ways that way leads on to way, I ended up being a foreign correspondent based in Cairo for a number of years. And I learned a tremendous amount from the experience of being a journalist too. And I think that the main thing I learned was a lack of preciousness about the act of writing itself. If you're a reporter, you have to write. You file something or you fail. There must be a story. The mot juste, on arriving, tell that to the city editor. Doesn't go over very well. So that's why I don't really believe in writer's block. Why should writers be allowed to have a block? Why not then hairdresser's block or cardiologist's block? I just think that writing might aspire to art, but it has to start as craft. And craft requires a discipline. So I like to think, now that I live in New England where there are a lot of stone walls, I think about what I'm doing is like building a stone wall. The words are the stones, and the book is the wall. And you choose each stone with consideration, and you place it with effort. And sometimes you find just the right stone, the right shape and heft for that difficult niche, and the effect is beautiful and satisfying. Your wall goes up straight and true. Other days you pick up one stone after another, and none of them is right. You try it, it won't fit. Frustrated, you jam it in anyhow. And the effect is unsightly and the balance is precarious. And you come back the next day and you can't bear to look at it. So you bring in the backhoe and you knock the bastard over. But the important thing is the effort. There can't be a day without lifting stones. And after enough days, if you sweated enough, scraped enough skin off your hands, been patient and diligent with your craft, unsparing in the use of the backhoe, you will in the end have a wall.